wielding the sword is done a certain way. Extend out from the arm to engage in the play, but is there a move that won't make me curse if you end up having to hold the sword in reverse? The answer is yes. Hello friends, today I would like to talk about something that I've mentioned a little bit in intro classes that I've been running for our club lately. They've been longsword intro, but I'll start with the arming sword and we'll move through a few different concepts. It's reverse grip. Movies, TVs, video games, maybe they show reverse grip. So what does all that mean? Well, normally when you swing a sword, you're extending and you are getting elbow, forearm, wrist, and you can deliver a fairly powerful cut. And you can swing through, and you can see the range of motion, and I'm still facing the opponent. So I can cut through. I'm fast, I'm nimble, I can do stuff. That's typical, okay? If I reverse grip, when I come across, there's a point where I stop and everything tenses up. This is going to put undue pressure on the bones and tendons in the wrist. It's going to hurt the elbow. You can only go so far. To continue, you actually have to then extend and turn at the waist, expose your shoulder and your back. Defensively, not a good idea. Yes, big fancy moves where you're spinning the sword around in front of you, reverse hand, it's an intimidation thing. But you need to switch back to a normal grip and then use the sword. Okay, so medieval-wise, this applies. When we're looking at Renaissance and later, where we start to have a lot of hand protection on the sword, fingerings, cages, shells, all those things. And this is all very difficult to do. But medieval sword, with the crossguard, you can switch your grip around. But why would you? Well, historically, you can, because you can stab with it. More applicable to the long sword. The whole idea is if we look at a dagger, we don't need an arming sword, put that down. You can fight with the dagger regular grip, point up, or you can fight reverse grip, point down. Or some people call it ice pick. Because you're trying to break the block of ice. But this grip predates blocks of ice. So really, we can just call it a reverse grip. Yeah. So this idea of generating a bunch of power from the shoulder as well as the entire arm to strike into something is how you use a reverse grip. And if we apply that to the longsword, the chair out of the way. If we apply it to the longsword, normally my cuts, I'm pushing, I'm pulling. This really doesn't help. Again, if I try to reverse cut, I get to a certain point, I have to start turning my body, and I'm putting a lot of pressure on the joints, and I'll probably injure myself. But what we do see in manuals is something like that. So you could thrust. So I can have the sword reverse gripped, another hand on the back of the pommel, and I can thrust with it. So reverse grip does work, and we have manuscript images of knights, men-at-arms, armored fighting, reverse grip, trying to get into those gaps. So yeah, we know that you can't say, oh, reverse grips are bad. But it's for thrusting, it's not for cutting. And with a longsword, it's really awkward, and you really don't get a lot of power, and you do get too much strain on the body. Mechanically, it works much better to have regular grip for cuts. So when you see that in the movies, where they, well, one, you know, all that strain, you have to turn your body. Two, you also lose a bit of range, because I have to kind of keep my arm here to do that reverse grip. Whereas I have a lot more range when I can extend and snap the wrist, and I can cut across without having to turn my back, without exposing myself, okay? I don't want to give a target to the opponent if I miss, because the opponent might jump out of the way. And if the opponent jumps out of the way and I'm like that, I can counter easily. When I'm reverse gripping, I'm exposed, I have a lot more strain on the body in order to come back and defend any kind of attack they give. Okay? So, reverse grip. Yes, we saw it in the first season / series of The Witcher. like it. Okay, reverse grip is definitely, if you're going to thrust with the sword, sure, I get it. Because we get all the moves from dagger and we can apply it. But if you're going to swing a sword, mechanically, using physics and using the biology of the human body, that is always going to be more effective. More reach, more power, less effort, less stress on the joints, all combined. And you're not exposing anything to an attack from your opponent, okay? So that's my little rant for the week, because it's come up in the last intro, and then I mentioned it early on in this intro that I just started this week. I figured, what a great topic. Reverse grip. Can it be done? Is there a historical precedent for it? Of course. Should we do it like we see in the TV and movies? No. Don't do that. Okay. And as always, do remember comments and likes and subscribes and all the things that help boost and shape the channel. We are at 1,111. 1111 for subscribers. Pretty cool. I like that number, but let's see if we can get to 1, 2, 3, 4, because that's an even more fun number. And until next time, friends, do remember, take care, stay safe, and keep on swinging properly.